Hello again, it's Lauren Weibert. I am your mindset coach. And I know I said this was going to be a two-part series of success stories from Dr. Joseph Murphy and Neville Goddard, but I found a couple of more success stories and then a specific set of instructions that you can use from Dr. Joseph Murphy. So I figured I would make a part 3. You're also going to want to check the link in the comments for my coach, Agnes Vivarelli's link. If you go to her website, you can purchase and download 4 of her ebooks. I think they're available in both forms. Don't quote me on that though, but you will want to check those stories out as well. 2 more success stories in here, and then one more it's set of instructions, a list of how to receive guidance from your subconscious in order to create internally what you would like to see externally. Here's the first story: how to attract the money you need. And this one is going to be so great because so many people come to me, and a big problem for a lot of people is that they do not have the money that they need to pay for the things that they would like to do. So here's a great way to do that. Many years ago, I met a man in Australia who told me that his fondest dream was to become a physician. He was taking science classes and doing brilliantly, but he had no way to pay for medical school. His parents were both dead. To support himself, he cleaned doctors' offices in the local hospital's professional building. I explained to him that a seed planted in the soil attracts to itself everything it needs for its proper unfolding. And Murphy was talking about a literal seed. Think of an acorn. All the programming is already in that acorn to become eventually a tall oak tree. The same thing is true of us. We have that ability to attract what we need to create the reality we would like to live in. Most times we're just unaware of it. Murphy says all he had to do was take a lesson from the seed and plant the required idea in his subconscious mind. Every night, as this young man went to sleep, he visualized a medical diploma with his name in big, bold letters. He found it easy to create a sharp, detailed image of the diploma. Remember, the more clear your imaginal scene is, remember the story of the missing furniture that Neville told? The person was able to see the pictures on the piano, feel the upholstery, feel themselves sitting in the chair that was nowhere to be found. In this story, the gentleman was seeing on the screen of his mind, in that imaginal scene, the lettering on the diploma, his name on it, the signatures at the bottom, right? Part of his job was to dust and polish the framed diplomas hanging on the walls of doctors' offices, and he studied them as he cleaned them. He persisted with this visualization technique every night for about 4 months. Then one of the doctors whose office he cleaned asked if he would like to become a physician's assistant. The doctor paid for him to attend a training program where he learned a wide variety of medical skills, then gave him a job as his assistant. He was so impressed with the young man's brilliance and determination that he later helped him through the medical school. Today, this young man is a prominent doctor in Montreal, Canada. This young man's success came because he had learned the law of attraction. He discovered how to use his subconscious mind the right way. This involved making use of an age-old law that says, having clearly seen the end, you have willed the means to the realization of the end. The end in this case was to become a physician. He was able to imagine, see, and feel the reality of being a doctor. He lived with the idea. He sustained it. nourished it, and loved it. At last, through his visualization, the idea penetrated the layers of his subconscious mind. It became a conviction. That conviction then attracted to him everything that was needed for the fulfillment of his dream. So what have you learned here about attracting money? The how is not important. The how is not what we need to concern ourselves with. We shouldn't spend the time trying to figure out the how. If we spend the time just living in the end, like he did, imagining the diploma, imagining taking care of patients, imagining being dressed like a doctor, walking into the hospital, right? And then keep doing what we're supposed to be doing in the 3D world. An opportunity similar to the one that was described in the story will arise, and the money will come. It comes from unexpected sources, oftentimes. Great story. All right, I love this story too. I missed it the first time around, so I put it in this video. This one is called How He Made His Dream Come True. Remember, look for the detail that these people are using in their stories, in their imaginal scenes, in the way that they talk to themselves in their imagination, and then watch how true to form it shows up in the 3D world. In Hollywood, I met an actor whose name is probably familiar to every moviegoer or television fan. He confided to me that he had grown up on a small farm in the Midwest. His family was just scraping by. His only entertainment was an old black and white TV that barely pulled in 2 channels. Even so, he began to dream of being an actor. The dream occupied him more and more. All the time I was out working in the fields, he said, or driving the cows back to the barn, I imagined that I could see my name in big letters on the marquee of a great theater. I saw every detail, the crowds of fans, the interviewers clamoring to speak to me. I kept this up for years. Finally, I left home. I came to Los Angeles and got work as an extra in films and TV shows. Before long, I got my first starring role. The night of the premiere, I drove to the theater and almost fainted. There was my name in lights. There were the crowds and the news reporters, all just as I had imagined them as a child. I, more than anyone, understand how the power of sustained imagination can bring success. That story gives me goosebumps. All right, so this last part is how to receive guidance from your subconscious. Joseph Murphy puts together a bulleted list here, which should help you in your imaginal scenes. Remember, this is all the scenes that you're building in your mind are taking place in your conscious mind. But the more that you get emotionally involved in those scenes, the easier it is for that to seep down into your subconscious mind, which is hooked up to your body, your meat suit, and that is what goes on to create. When you have to make what you think will be a difficult decision, or when you fail to see the solution to your problem, begin at once to think constructively about it. If you're fearful and worried, you're not really thinking. True thinking is free from fear. Here are the steps of a simple technique you can use to receive guidance on any subject. Quiet the mind and still the body. Tell the body to relax. It has to obey you. It has no volition, initiative, or self-conscious intelligence. Your body is an emotional disk that records your beliefs and impressions. Mobilize your attention. Focus your thought on the solution to your problem. Try to solve it with your conscious mind. Think how happy you would be about the perfect solution. Sense the feeling you would have if the perfect answer were yours now. Let your mind play with this mood of happiness and contentment in a relaxed way, and then drop off to sleep. When you awaken, if you do not have the answer, get busy with something else. While you're preoccupied with something else, it is possible that the answer will pop into your mind. All right. I hope you learned something from all of these success stories that I was able to share with you because of the great works of Dr. Joseph Murphy and Neville Goddard. If you need my help, you know where to find me. I'm Lauren Weibert. I am your mindset coach.